Olá! Our class today is about the Spanish subjunctive. Until now, you have been using verb tenses like present, preterite, and imperfect, always in the indicative mood or mode. The indicative is used to express real, definite, or factual actions or states of being. Well, in this chapter, you will learn about the subjunctive mode. It is used to express the hypothetical or subjective, such as a speaker's attitudes, wishes, feelings, emotions, or doubts. Unlike the indicative, which states facts, the subjunctive describes reality subjectively, or refers to actions or states that are not yet reality at all, and maybe never will be. Let's see some examples. When I say Luís va a Paris, I need to use the present of the indicative because I know he's going to Paris. So that indicates certainty. But if I choose to say ojalá que, which means I pray to God or I hope that Luís vaya a Paris, I'm not sure if that will really happen. So in this case, I can't use the present indicative. I need to use the present subjunctive. Okay? Because when you say, I hope, you cannot really guarantee, you don't have any guarantee that that will happen. Before we learn usage, we must learn the forms we'll be working with. And if you really learn how to use the commands, especially in the usted form, that's going to be super easy because it's the same concept. For all but 6 verbs in Spanish, we can apply a simple 3-step process with which to construct the forms. So step number 1 should be very familiar to you, which is start with the yo form of the verb in the present tense. And that applies for all 3 conjugations, AR, ER, and IR. So, let's see. Hablo, como, vivo. If we are careful to begin with this step, verbs with irregular stems and yo forms will be included and will not be considered irregular in the subjunctive. For example, conocer, we know it has an irregular yo form. So, you go to conozco, conjugating the yo form. Decir, digo. Dormir, duermo, stem changing. Hacer, hago. Oír, that means to hear, oigo. Pedir, pido. Perder, to lose, pierdo. Querer, quiero. Tener, tengo. Traer, traigo. Venir, vengo. Ver, veo. Step number 2. Take off the final O of the yo form. Let's do that. And now, all you have to do is to add the opposite endings. So if you have an AR verbs, you're going to add ER verb endings. Let's see. Ojalá que hable. Ojalá que tú hables. Ojalá que él, ella, usted hable. Ojalá que nosotros hablemos. Ojalá que vosotros habléis. Ojalá que ellos, ellas, ustedes hablen. Notice that the first and third person singular forms are identical. Step number 3, add the opposite endings for ER and IR verbs. So you add AR verb endings. Ojalá que yo coma. Ojalá que tú comas. Ojalá que él, ella o usted coma. Ojalá que nosotros comamos. Ojalá que vosotros comáis. Ojalá que ellos, ellas o ustedes coman. Vivir. Viva, vivas, viva, vivamos, viváis, vivan. So again, first and third person singular forms are identical. What about stem changing verbs? Well, stem changing AR and ER verbs have the same stem changes as in the present indicative. So, for example, recordar. So you say, yo recuerdo, conjugating the yo form, and then you put the opposite endings. recuerde, recuerdes, recuerde, recordemos. Remember, we don't change the stem in the nosotros form. Recordéis, vosotros, recuerden. Perder, to lose. Ojalá que pierda, ojalá que tú pierdas, ojalá que él pierda, ojalá que nosotros perdamos, we don't change the nosotros, ojalá que vosotros perdáis, ojalá que ellos, ellas, ustedes pierdan. You may recall the third person singular and plural changes that occur in the preterite of stem-changing IR verbs. For example, dormir, the preterite you say, yo dormí, tú dormiste, él durmió, nosotros dormimos, vosotros dormisteis, ellos durmieron. Remember that change from O to U? Well, we are going to apply that to in the present subjunctive, but only in the nosotros form. So let's see. Ojalá que yo duerma, ojalá que tú duermas, ojalá que él duerma. Now watch. Ojalá que nosotros durmamos, only in the nosotros form. Ojalá que vosotros durmáis, of course, in the vosotros form too. Ojalá que ellos, ellas, ustedes duerman. These changes occur only in stem-changing IR verbs. I repeat, only IR verbs. Let's see some more examples. Mentir, which means to lie, also changed in the past tense, in the preterite, in the él, ella, usted, ellos, ellas, ustedes form, from E to I. So, let's see. Mienta, because you say yo miento, it's a stem changing. Ojalá que tú mientas, ojalá que él mienta, ojalá que ella mienta. Now, watch nosotros. Ojalá que mintamos, ojalá que mintáis, ojalá que mientan. So again, you change to an I. When you have an E, you change to an I, only in the nosotros form. You don't see any difference with the verb servir. But it's because the yo form of servir is sirvo. So let's see. Sirva, sirvas, sirva, sirvamos. Because when you have E and it's an IR verb, you change the E to an I. Sirvais, sirvan. The following spelling changes occur in all forms of the present subjunctive with verbs whose infinitives end in CAR, GAR, and ZAR. Here we come again. Same concept that you learned before. Busque, busques, busque, busquemos, busquen. Now remember, if you keep the C, you are saying busse. So you need to change to all forms since you have the vowel E here. GAR, you change G to GU. Llegue, llegues, llegue, lleguemos, llegueis, lleguen. Again, change all the forms this time to GU because you have the vowel E here. Otherwise, you're saying yehe if you don't put that U here to make the sound of the G a hard G. ZAR, you change Z to C. Empiece, empieces, empiece, empecemos, because it's a stem changing verb. Remember, nosotros form, we don't change, it's an AR, so don't change in the nosotros form. Empecéis, empiecen. There are only 6 truly irregular verbs, that is, verbs to which we cannot apply our 3-step process. But if you remember these verbs from the commands that we learned, in the usted form, they are the same exact ones. All you have to do is to conjugate them this time. When you think about irregular verbs in the subjunctive, think about dishes like dar, ir, ser, haber, estar, saber. De, des, de, demos, deis, den. Vaya, vayas, vaya, vayamos, vayáis, vayan. Sea, seas, sea, seamos, seáis, sean. Haya, hayas, haya, hayamos, hayáis, hayan. Esté, estés, esté, estemos, estéis, estén. Sepa, 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 sepamos, sepáis, sepan. Well, I hope that was helpful. Make sure you review this and you rewatch this video as many times as you need. Gracias.